On this episode of the Casually Human podcast, I have a chat with Alice Kimanzi. Alice Kimanzi is a multi-award-winning Kenyan gospel singer and songwriter known for her inspirational and worship Christian music. From her originals such as Niwewe or Waambie and so on, to her well-received covers of songs such as Let Praises Rise, she has continued to use her gifts to lift, inspire, and guide over the years. Well, Alice and I sit, talk career, family, and the makings of both. We talk faith, leadership, songwriting, and so much more. Was it such a cool conversation this one was? Had I told her that her song Yuko Mungu with Paul Clement single-handedly got me through COVID, I would have been too wet-eyed to do the interview. So I didn't. But the song did. It really did. And it has held my hand through low moments, and I'm sure her music has impacted many, many others in so many different ways. So, on behalf of all of us, thank you, Alice. Asante. Hi, here's our casual conversation at the beautiful Sugar Bowl. Enjoy. Mbona nimesema lady and gentleman. Now there too. Good. Kuna mwingine hapo. Good. Thank you for making time, especially on a rainy afternoon. Tulikuwa, you know what? Probably episode itaenda the way Alice would prefer. Unajua, the fewer the better. But hey, here we are. Oh, good. So karibuni sana. Yeah, if at some point you want to order, just raise your hand. Our lovely ladies will serve you. In case you're curious what we are having, at some point I'll also try and share what I've learned so far about the space and about the food, yeah? Otherwise, let's have a good time. Good.
Right.
Alice.
Yes.
Hi.
Martin.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while, and
Yes.
thank you for saying yes to the afternoon with us.
Yeah, you owe me.
I do, right?
Yes, you owe
I
me.
do.
Something.
Guy,
I'll come up with something.
please, the sooner the better, and your nitik as done.
So,
Good. Now, I have a question, yeah? Where to start, just particularly for this afternoon, yeah?
okay.
So, we're recording on a rainy, sunny sort of afternoon.
Yeah.
If you were not here, where would you be in this very moment?
Well, I'd be at home
Okay.
checking on my son.
Okay.
We had some serious fever spikes through the night at Rujalala.
Yeah.
At some point, my husband had to walk him out into the parking lot just to cool him down because it's fever that's not responding to medication.
Medication.
But it's flu season. It's been a while since he's been sick, so we're thankful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good to hear at least it's been a while since he was.
Yes.
But
yes.
what does that look like normally? Ni ile ya kawaida, he gets the flu, then everyone in the house gets the flu.
Yes.
So nafa.
And I'm always the last one to get.
Okay.
If my husband doesn't get, I won't get.
Okay, you'll be safe.
But I'll be there kissing the boy, and he won't give me the
The
home.
faith of a parent. The faith of a parent. Unajua utapewa home.
Love.
That's good. That's good.
It's love.
How does that feel though? Even before we get to, the becoming of Alice, how does it feel to be at a point where you're now a parent? You know? How does that feel? Is it, if you're to speak to the Alice, I don't know, 10 years ago, how would you describe this season in your life?
I've always wanted to be a mom. I overly mother people.
Okay.
When people meet me, they initially just automatically call me Auntie Alice.
Oh, yeah?
It's just my nature.
Oh, nice.
So now that I have one little human that I can spoil and do the most for, it feels so fulfilling. It's so
That's
good. Yeah.
That's good.
My cup is full.
That is such a powerful statement to make, especially knowing that a lot of parents struggle. I mean, and there are those seasons for you. Are there seasons where you're like, this parenting thing is a little much?
It's too much.
Are there those seasons?
Oh, absolutely. And you feel so frustrated and stuck. But then that child is so cute. And just the audacity of being so cute. You just feel like it's a privilege. It's more of a blessing than it is a burden. And parenting is hard. It's hard for every parent. Yeah. We don't have it figured out.
Oh, well, it doesn't seem like it.
No, we don't. Nobody.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Does the child remind you of anyone in your life? in terms of how they look, in terms of mannerisms?
Yeah, the sister that I follow.
Okay.
Yeah, she was quite the tomboy, and she would talk a lot. He talks nonstop. Like we have to bribe him to stop talking. Yeah, and very playful. Like his love language right now is play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like that. He doesn't like kisses and cuddles as much right now, but that's how my sister was
Okay.
growing up.
That's
Yeah.
very warm. That's
Yeah.
very warm. Are there aspects about him that you see in your husband, and there are aspects in him that you see about yourself?
Personality wise, I think he has a little more of me.
Okay.
And there's also his very extroverted side, which neither of us have, neither of his parents have. For his dad, it's definitely his appetite. Yeah, he doesn't eat well.
Okay.
It's always trying to bribe him to
Okay,
eat
okay.
and threaten.
Yeah.
So he definitely took his body size and appetites and whatever food aversions from his dad.
Oh, look at that. No, the moment you said appetite, I was like, oh, he eats. Kumbe he doesn't. Interesting.
He tries. Let me say he tries. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And maybe one last one around parenting. Are there things about being a parent that make you say, I don't know, appreciate your parents more?
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I think you get to the point where you see why your parents were so scared whenever you make certain decisions. They just didn't want you to suffer, and so that chopper was because of fear. They're afraid that you're going to be lost, afraid that you're going to get pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, so it was always coming from a place of love, at the same time, just a lot of anxiety.
Okay.
So yeah, I appreciate that.
And you have both of these, a lot of love and a lot of anxiety.
Let's not even go there.
A podcast for another day.
Yes.
Nani, but you've just said, hey, podcast, bana. They've been coming back to back. Let's talk about that a bit. Personality-wise, yeah?
Let's not talk about that.
We won't, I promise. Okay. But personality-wise, you describe your child as more outgoing than you are.
Yeah.
And clearly you seem to understand, at a certain age we all do, you're like, no, this is how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. At what point did you recognize that you are, you slightly kept to yourself more than others did?
Oh my gosh. Early on.
Okay.
Early on, because I have three sisters. I have three older sisters, but there's an age gap. So I pretty much grew up just me and my parents. So I never had that interaction with siblings where you go out with their friends and nini.
Yeah.
So just growing up, I was just in the house, being a good girl, doing house chores, and being painfully shy. Yeah, I remember being painfully shy growing up. Yeah, even in high school, I just stay in the the bus.
Yeah.
And my friends were there interacting with boys.
Oh no.
Just there like, can we go back to school?
You used to watch Funkies from the window.
I would participate in the event, but after I'm just like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Yet here you are. You've made a career out of interacting with
It's
people.
It's hard.
From not only singing, but worship leading.
Yeah.
Like worship leading needs a lot of...
It does. And I think it's taken time to grow and learn that before you lead worship, you need to just have like that love for the people that you're leading worship.
Okay.
So it breaks something. It breaks that thing for that barrier for this is my space. I don't want to interact. No.
Yeah.
If you just love people, it's easier to lead them in worship.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah.
Asante sana for that. Your childhood.
Yes.
So it's you mostly by yourself.
Mostly by myself.
Is your mind busy? Are you those sort of children? Are you crafty? Are your hands busy? What are you mostly doing as a child away from school?
Chores and music.
Okay.
Music would be something that I would listen to, good times, bad times. It would always be something that I look forward to. After I'm done with washing these dishes, I'm going to listen to this album. After I'm done cooking,
that's fancy.
Yeah. I grew up listening to a lot of black gospel,
Okay.
which is funny because it doesn't appear in any of my playlists now. I am very passionate about African culture, African music. Just Africa is so rich. Once you think you've figured out the sound of Africa, you'll just hear some artists has come up from Malawi, and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
What are those instruments? Sound so beautiful.
Yeah.
But I grew up listening to Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, a lot of black gospel,
Yeah, so a lot of American gospel.
rock at some
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got born again when I was very young.
Okay.
And I felt convicted to stop listening to secular music. But I would listen to secular music, like
Yeah.
whatever we were growing up listening to. Of course, utaisikia at some point, but
Yeah.
like consciously, I would listen to a lot of gospel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my parents would take me, actually, no, my sisters would take me to a lot of stores that sell gospel albums. And they would tell me, today you're only buying two.
Because they knew you'd get carried
Yeah, those
away.
stores would allow you to sample. Unavaa earphones, unaweka CD, una sample, like, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious where you grew up. Where did you grow up?
Buru, phase 5.
Hey. Okay, na mlikuwa na places za CD na kusikiza na
No,
headphones.
sasa unaenda huko ya center, Westi, kuba hizo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
How was it growing up in Buru in terms of, were you schooling there?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. I went to Harambee Primary School.
Okay, good.
And that's where I was the whole of primary school.
Okay.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Like every neighborhood, there's always community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
People that I'm still fond of.
To
Yeah.
date.
To date.
To
yes.
date.
Yeah.
Did your
Good
siblings go to
people.
the same school?
Yes, they
Okay.
did. They did. Yes.
So the reason I ask is them being ahead of you, was there ever
Yeah.
the pressure of sister so and so?
The sister that I follow, I went
Yeah.
to the same high school she went to.
Okay.
So already they knew my surname, and they were even the teachers were expecting me to be as extroverted as she is.
Yeah.
So I just had to chart my own path because I cannot feel her shoes.
Yeah.
She was everywhere. She was in the drama club. She was doing what. So it was a bit hard. It was a
Yeah.
bit hard. And me, I'm just music.
Yeah. And in the bus. That's it. What about the coming forward now as a singer?
Yeah.
At what point does this happen? At what point do you recognize, there's a gift here. I think I'm
Oh.
pretty good a singer.
Maybe I can say when I was 6.
Okay.
So when I was about that age, we moved to Nairobi Baptist Church, which is where I pretty much grew up. And they were big with art. They were big with concerts and things like that. So when I was 6, there was a Christmas cantata. My parents signed me up. And I remember it was very strange that I was among the few people who were selected to audition for a solo part.
Okay.
And when I got it, I remember I asked the music teacher why she chose me. And she said, well, because you can sing. And so then I started thinking, okay, I guess there's something here.
Okay.
But I will say that my sisters taught me how to sing on key. They taught me how to harmonize. And then, of course, now listening to all these other gospel sounds, learned a few things. I picked up a few things.
Yeah.
So I never missed any concert in Bapo growing up. All of them throughout the years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's drama, it's dance, it's singing. So it was fun.
It's performing arts. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh, look
fun.
at that. What about
Yeah.
high school?
In Form 1, the Form 4s who were there, they started a singing group
Okay.
in the CU, which I joined, and we would rehearse every day for 15 minutes, rain or shine. We'd just be there with our umbrellas. And
Okay.
I feel like it did something to my voice and my appreciation of music. Yeah, when you practice just 15 minutes a day for 4 years, it does something. It does something. And it's high school. You never miss a place to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would
it's
be
assembly or
Yes.
CU or Dream Mass because it was a Catholic school.
Yeah.
We never lacked a place to perform.
This is happening. Are you thinking when I grow up, I will be this successful musician?
No, not at all.
Yeah?
No.
What are you thinking of doing? What do you want to do then?
Really?
Yeah.
I wanted to either do two things. I wanted to either be a vet or a chef.
Okay.
So it's a bit sad, but
What do you mean it's a bit sad?
I never ended up doing either of those. So
Okay.
when I finished high school, I met with some of my friends who were telling me that they had already gone to campus and they were talking to some of the students and they said the vet students, they'd been there forever.
Okay.
Like it's it's like a 7-year course, and I was like, I can't do
It's
7
not
years, please,
happening.
no.
Yeah.
And then now the chef one, now my mom kind of steered me away from that,
Oof.
which was very sad.
Why?
But I still
Why?
love to cook.
Yeah.
In a clean kitchen where I don't have to clean dishes, but
Okay.
I will cook.
Yeah.
I enjoy cooking.
Why do you feel mom sort of nudged you away from it?
Uh, boomers. I don't know how to explain. It's boomers. It's
Ah,
just
yeah.
boomers kind of steered us towards, business, marks, the things that made sense to them.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would see the culinary students going to Safari Park, and I'm just there like,
Could have been you.
hata sijasikia vibaya.
You know? Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of dishes and speaking of food, I think it's finally time to have a bite.
Okay.
And for those in the audience, yes, kindly you can. Hi, good to see you. You can order yours at any point. We don't mind kusikia the if in case you want to do some roast beef or something, please jump in. As for us, I think karibu. Karibu. And you could also advise us what we are doing. Najua, you could tell us what that is. I am clueless. Maybe serve Alice and maybe me as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we having?
Yeah, having black tea.
What is that?
It's black tea.
Oh, it's kawaida
okay.
black tea. Oh, is that what you?
No,
Okay,
it's
so.
not kawaida black tea.
Oh, yeah?
It looks like
Uh-huh.
herbal tea.
It's a herbal.
Okay.
It's a herbal tea. It's a
Yeah.
herbal black tea.
It's a herbal
Okay.
black
It's
tea.
a special one.
Okay. So,
Nice.
Thank you very much.
And the cute
Enjoy.
little
Alice, is it
honey.
just for her?
No.
Mimi naweza pata pia?
Yeah.
Ndio, thank you.
Thank
you
you.
very much. Asante sana.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
What are these?
These are truffles.
Truffles. Truffles. Thank you very
Okay,
much. I
thank
have no
you.
idea what truffles are.
It's okay.
In my fancy. Oh, it's chocolate.
Chocolate truffle.
Thank you. You want some of
Fancy.
mine?
You first. Thank
Okay,
you.
sawa. I'll have a bite. Sure. Karibu sana.
Yeah, you just
No?
go
Oh,
ahead.
wow.
Thank you.
Sawa. Uko tu, no, thank you. Hiya, good enough.
Yeah.
As you're trying to settle the noise downstairs,
Yeah.
it's not so bad. You can taste. Ama unataka kuwekewa honey?
Yes, nishajiwekea honey, some honey. Cute. Ooh. Okay.
Too complex? You good?
Got
Say
it.
them.
Kwa sawa.
Don't worry.
Very fancy.
Fancy enough. I always take advantage of these breaks to chew something, get some sugar. Acha nisikumulike hapo. We'll jump into the conversation, keep it going. But like I said, you can order yours at whatever point. I hope sichomi sana, guitar usinimulike sana. Usinimulike sana. This episode of Casually Human Podcast with Martin Kigondu is brought to you by Sugar Bowl. Sugar Bowl is a casual, full-service dining restaurant featuring an inviting indoor and outdoor space with a fresh, unpretentious ambience with warm colors, perfect for intimate dinners, business meetings, and social gatherings. Their menu is strongly based off a continental cuisine enhanced with Mediterranean and Italian influences, so go check them out, maze. They are conveniently located at Shell Petrol Station in Spring Valley, hapa tu Lower Kabete. So go check them out, have a good time, and tell them you were sent by Martin Kigondu from the Casually Human Podcast. Let's get into it. We're now in our 20s. Yeah?
Yeah.
We've sort of realized that clearly we're not going to be a chef. Yeah, or any other thing that we had dreamt
Right,
of.
yes,
So what
yeah.
happens when we are 18, 19? Where are we? Where's your mind?
Where's my mind?
Yeah, I know at some point soon
campus.
you get into a competition.
Yes.
So what's that gap?
Okay, so that happened right after high school. So after I finished my KCSE, I get home and on the radio they were announcing a singing competition.
Okay.
Which I signed up for, and it ran all the way to the next year, April. So by that time I was already in campus.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, I made it to become one of the finalists. We were 13 of us.
Okay.
I met such incredibly talented people who I don't even know where they are right now, but Oh my gosh, Nairobi is blessed.
Yeah.
So we did that, and that was supposed to culminate into a compilation album. So the 13 of us are supposed to write a song each, and then we record. So that was my first interaction with a studio, with recording my voice on anything. So that was fun. And then my first encounter is with Kanji, Bogwa, and Aaron Rimbui. They were the
Yeah.
producers of the songs.
That umeingia
Nimeingia tu
tu
huko juu.
yeah the A team already.
A-team, man.
Okay.
And then,
Do you mind telling
yeah.
us the name of the competition?
Yes, it was called Kipawa Talent Search.
Power Talent Search. When is
Yes.
this? When are we? Around what year is this?
I mean, why do we have to talk about it? Yes.
Who's talking about age?
Yeah,
Who's
why do
talking
we have
about
to get
age?
into specifics? It was at some point in the 2000s, guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So throughout the whole year, you're competing, or you're actually just being trained as you go? What is
Yeah,
going
we were
on in the
competing
competition?
from November all the way to the next year, April.
Yeah.
We were just having competitions, competition after competition. Yeah, they were just trying to shortlist
Yeah.
to get to the finalists. And then finally now we can record.
Who's deciding who's going on to the next level? Is it the judges, or
Yes.
it's the people voting?
Yes, it was judges. It was
Okay.
judges, and then now at the very end for the finalists, we were now the 13 of us. We did like a concert, and then the people voted. Yeah.
Okay.
The people voted the winner and the runner-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about that season. So,
Yeah.
how are you feeling now in retrospect when you look at
Yeah.
it? How do you feel about having your talent being judged?
Yeah.
You know, how does
I
that make you
know.
feel internally? And even when it
Yeah.
comes to the voting,
Yeah.
people deciding, no, you're not as good as this person.
Just thrown that bomb there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is going on internally?
I think at that time, very nervous. Of course, you're doubting yourself because you're seeing so much talent. So it was nerve-wracking to a level, but it was also a lot of fun. I don't know how to explain it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But right now, in retrospect, I think I know better. I know that the people who win in a music or a talent competition are not necessarily the people who make it in music. Yeah. They are not the people who make it in music. The person who was like not even very impressive
Yeah.
are the ones who really stand out. They end
Yeah.
up standing out. Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. What else do you get? What else do you think we get wrong? You know, because we've not only seen the
Yeah.
Kipawa one, we've seen the
Yeah.
TPF ones, we've seen
Yeah.
all these competitions. And
Yeah.
like you said, normally the one who ends up winning doesn't make that big of a career as opposed to the number twos, the number
Yeah.
threes.
Yeah.
What else do you think we get wrong about that whole understanding of that?
Oh my. Martin, I don't think they can do better because
Yeah.
if you look at the competition maybe a few years later, you'll see the person who actually made it a career, made a career out of the music, they were not very impressive. They really weren't.
Yeah.
So I think it's on the talent side. How much work are you putting into your craft?
Yeah.
How much are you practicing? How much are you sharpening your gift? So it's not really a judge's thing. I think
Yeah.
it's the talent.
Yeah. At the end of the day, is how much you put at sharpening your skill.
Yes, yes.
The
yes.
consistency and
The
all.
consistency, the growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aya. Talent competition imeisha.
Yeah.
What do you choose to do? Are you joining a community to now start serving in church? What are you looking at? Are you looking at
Right.
making your first album? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Okay, so now I'm in campus
Okay.
in my first year. I met Gideon Kimanzi in that competition.
Okay.
He was one of the judges. So I think for some of us, he would pick out some of us and ask us to, lay some background vocals for his clients. And it was quid pro quo. So I help you with your work, you help me with my
Okay.
my own songs.
Yeah.
So that's where I started working on my first album in campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, slowly.
Yeah. By the time you're
Yeah.
done with campus, is it done?
No.
It's not done.
But a good chunk of it was done.
Okay.
Yeah.
And by then you knew you wanted to center it on church music, on worship
Absolutely,
and
yes,
praise
yes,
music.
yes, I did, I
Okay.
did. And even some of us who Gideon was working with, he put us in a group, and he called us the community of praisers. So we did a few songs that actually made it somewhere.
It's a familiar name.
Yeah, so we did Uhimidiwe Bwana,
Upewe
Upesifa Yesu.
Yeah.
We did a few of those songs.
I love that song.
So in campus, as I am getting through campus, I'm also working on now the craft
Yeah.
of music and getting acquainted with studio, and publishing, production, and getting your music out there. And getting music out there was not easy.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know someone, getting your song played on radio was actually not very easy.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because by then the online platforms were
They were
not
not
as
there.
active.
Things were different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first album eventually comes out.
First album doesn't come out yet.
Okay.
It took a while.
It took a while.
It took quite a while, yes.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, it took a while. I got married pretty young also.
There is that. There is
Yes,
that.
I got married pretty young. So after I got married is now when, okay, so I'm living with the music producer. Let's work on this album.
So you
Yeah.
eventually get married to Gideon.
Yes.
Gideon starts, marriage and the journey.
Yes.
So there is
yes.
work, but there is music as well.
Yes.
You're seeing the professional side of music.
Yes.
Are you
yeah.
questioning the path that you're taking in terms of being a musician?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was not easy. Again, because of that, not having your own platform, it's things were different then.
Yeah.
Things were very different then. Like I would go to a church, because that's how you get your music out there. You go to a church, you do an offertory song, and then they give you a desk, sell your merchandise. So some churches would just be like, "There's no such person. You don't exist."
Yikes.
Yeah, so it would be very awkward. Yeah,
Yeah. That's humbling
hard
as well.
times.
That's humbling as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a process that I appreciate that I went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there one particular, without saying the church or the where, is there a memory you have that today to go, hey, that was the bottom of the bottom? Is there a story you have in
I don't know
mind?
if I should share that.
Please
so
share that.
I don't know.
This is casually human.
Yeah, so there was this church that I went to, and you have to talk to like the worship pastor, and they will give you a date when the calendar allows for you to come. And so I go there that Sunday, and they had invited someone else. Yeah,
Yikes.
because I don't exist. Who is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was hard. It was hard. I ended up going to the youth church
Okay.
to do the offertory song there.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to go, because they do invite me nowadays, but it took me a while to kind of like, USA.
Yeah.
It's fine. It
Yeah.
was my humble beginnings.
Yeah. Oh Lord. And how long do you do this hustle?
Not very long.
Okay.
Because maybe like a year or two.
Okay.
And then I joined Nairobi Chapel. So Nairobi Chapel is where I actually grew as a worship leader, because now you have an audience and you have people who've gone ahead of you, and they actually tell you, I feel like you just went through the song. You didn't really worship. Like, we can tell. So you need to have that connection with God. I got a lot of mentorship there. I got to travel as well. So I was very busy. I was very busy well there. Yes. Yeah.
Worship leading is a totally different skill.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill that can be learned.
It's a totally
Yeah.
different skill.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But right before we leave that previous season, what keeps you going, especially faith-wise? Because interacting with these
Yeah.
Christians and Parsis and communities,
Yeah.
there's something abrasive about the experience. So I don't know, does it chip on your faith? Am I still, you know what?
Abrasive. I don't know if I would use that word.
Okay.
But I will say this: when I go to minister in a different church, I feel like I feel a certain type of exhaustion that I can't really explain. It's not like when I'm serving in my home church. I don't know, maybe it's my personality, maybe it's just interacting with different people. But there's a level of, I feel like I've given out a lot more.
Okay.
But that's where I go back to my relationship with God. It's not something that I do so that I can lead worship. That's just how my life is. My life is with God.
Yeah.
I don't know life outside of God. I don't know how I would survive without Him. So it's just a genuine walk with God that I
Okay.
have. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say this is part of what you have to pay to serve?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's possible to, we are musicians. It's possible you can create an atmosphere. It's possible.
Yeah.
You can just play the right chords, and people will be moved. I mean, people faint when Michael Jackson would be performing. There's just a way that music can carry you, but there's a difference between just music and just having the presence of God there while you're worshiping. Yeah, that's the most important thing. And people can feel it. People can feel the presence of God in the room. Yeah. I
Oh,
hope I've
look at that.
answered you. I feel like I've
It is
gone.
well. It is well. Hakuna marking scheme. Hakuna marking scheme. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll still come back to the sort of space of worship.
Yeah.
But let's talk about uh, the choosing to keep going,
Yeah.
because as much as all this is happening, the consistency is happening,
Yeah.
life is happening.
Yeah.
Soon
Yeah.
enough, there is an album out and another album out,
Yeah.
family is happening,
Yeah.
and yet you still sort of keep going. Of course, there are gaps in between your
Yes.
albums,
Yeah.
at least the first and the second. What keeps you going?
I know my assignment to an extent.
Okay.
I know that God has called me in the arts. I know that I have a calling in worship. I know that it will lean into entertainment a little bit, but mostly worship.
Yeah.
So that's where I focus my energy. That's why I focus my songwriting on songs for the church,
Okay.
songs that people in church in Kenya can sing. Yeah, so I think it's just my journey with God has taught me that I'm here for a purpose, and this is part of the purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I keep pushing.
You keep pushing.
And there's just a way that your purpose will just tug on you.
Yeah.
And you just feel like, I need to write a song for this. I need to write a song about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the word purpose. I
Yes.
love the word purpose a lot. Na itakuwa one of my maybe 3-4 questions later.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
About why you think we're here. Najua,
Okay,
why you
okay.
think we're here.
Yes.
So eventually, back to
Yeah.
the story. The first album comes out. Sindio?
Yeah, yes.
Early 2010s, right?
11, 12.
Sindio, 11, 12 there.
Yeah, yes.
Then around COVID, right before, most slightly
Yeah,
after,
before, yeah.
the second one comes out.
Yes.
What's the difference between the first and the second? In retrospect,
Right.
what was the biggest difference?
Hey, I had grown.
Okay.
Vocally, I had grown. In terms of songwriting, I had grown. And even just the production. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the second album is what had Yule Yule, Chukua, all the songs that have been,
Popular.
used in church spaces.
Yeah.
So at that point, I think I had grown. You don't have to put too many lyrics. You know how you can take Psalm 42 and just put it all in one song and it's not making sense? It's like a mouthful in your mouth. You're trying to. That's how I wrote my first album.
Oh, yeah?
But my second album, at least now I had an understanding of, okay, this is how you write a song.
Yeah.
So that it's easy for the congregation to sing along. Yeah.
Yeah, process
Yes.
is definitely different.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. So say you're in the space of new music.
Yes.
How do you approach your songwriting process?
My songwriting, I wish I could say that I hear a song.
Okay.
I'm going to get there. I'm working towards
This is not the case.
The song dropped it. I really want to
Yeah.
get there. But for me, I really seek God. I ask Him for songs. And I know someone who is more mature would say, we don't do that anymore. God has to send the song. But for me, it's different. And I still feel like God uses that avenue to help me to get the songs. So I really seek God. And if I feel like God is, there's like a solid concept that God wants me to write on, then I go to the scriptures. And if you search the scriptures, and it's not like I'm trying to interpret it in my own way, like I will cross-reference and see what generally is God saying about this topic, and then now I start songwriting.
Yeah.
So it's I wish it was easy. I wish it was like 5 minutes I'm done.
Yeah.
But I'm not gifted that way.
And this is not the
Yeah.
case.
No.
Okay. But
Yeah.
what vindicates the process? Is it a million views? Is it a
Hey,
million
yo.
people who've given their life to Christ?
I know
Yeah.
it's a struggle when I write a song and I'm just like, mama, this song is amazing,
Yeah.
and it has 12K views. I'm just like, sit down, humble
Kwani
yourself.
hawasikii? Yeah.
But what I've learned, what God has taught me, is He doesn't measure success the way we do. Yeah, He doesn't measure success according to your views,
Yeah.
and money in the bank and all those things. Are you being obedient? Are you walking in the fruit of the Spirit? Are you fulfilling your purpose?
Yeah.
The parable of the talents. There's a guy who was given one, and he was supposed to multiply that one. It could have been two.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who was given five. So God doesn't measure success the way we do. We would say that the guy who had five produced 10. I mean, that's the guy who got everything right.
Yeah.
But he gave the one person one. So he didn't expect him to get 10.
Yeah.
So God doesn't measure our success the way we do. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Co-producer, hata tukipata 500 views, God does not look at success
Yeah,
in
he
this way.
doesn't. He
Unajua?
doesn't.
Namwatch Casually Human. Namsubscribe.
Yes.
Oh, good. And last but not least, Alice,
Yeah.
you've spoken about purpose a lot. It doesn't have to be that deep.
Yeah.
But why are we here, do you think?
Hey.
It doesn't have to be that deep.
Anybody want to take this one, please? Anyone?
In this moment, I don't know. 2 months later, you might think, maybe that's not. Yeah?
Yeah.
In this moment.
In this moment.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely here for a purpose. The way we look, the way we see life, the way we are gifted differently, we are definitely here for something. Definitely here for something. And I can't say exactly why, but it has to come from a place from the person who made you. And that has to come from having a relationship with God. You can't quite tell why you were created if you don't hear it from